The mission of Young Life is simple. Introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ and help them grow in their faith. Prior to 2020, it looked something like this. Young Life leaders would go where kids are, and we would earn the right to be heard, which means we'd go to football games, on campus, basketball games, wrestling matches, and on-campus lunches, hang out with kids, play games, learn their names. And ultimately, Young Life is about building relationships. Young Life clubs where we elevate the gospel above all else in a fun and unique way. And then we have something that we call campaigners, where kids could come over to a leader's home, have a home-cooked meal, and learn more about what it means to have a relationship with Jesus by going through the scriptures together. And then we would take kids to a place called Malibu, a Young Life camp, to have the best week of their life. 2020 started off with a bang. Leaders are going to on-campus lunches, football games. Teachers were joining in on things that we were doing at lunch with kids. It was a blast. Big clubs. And we shared with you our vision at our last year's banquet. And then everything changed 2 weeks later. But we did as well. Remember, Young Life is all about building relationships. So this year, we went digital. We started hosting Zoom clubs, and program characters would deliver prizes and meals to kids. We would go on outdoor adventures, hikes in places in Washington. We would have in-person campaigners where we would learn more about what it means to have a relationship with Jesus. Our theme for 2020 was simple. It's called Back to the Basics. Young Life is all about building relationships. COVID may have slowed us down, but it did not stop us in 2020. This last year, we trained 12 new leaders, started Wildlife at Sedgwick Middle School, and are launching our first ever Young Life team in Belfair, Washington. In 2020, we asked you to give so that we could grow our wildlife ministry, and we did that. In 2020, we asked you to give so we could hire another staff person, and we did that. We asked you to give so we could buy a van to help our Young Lives ministry leaders transport kids around, and we did that. We asked you to give to expand our borders into Belfair, and we did that. Right now in Belfair, Washington, there are 8 trained volunteer leaders waiting to start Young Life ministry at their local high school. We asked you to give so we could start Young Life ministry in Bremerton, and we're doing that. Right now, there are churches in Bremerton praying and volunteers interested in launching Olympic College Young Life. And our hope for 2021 is that we not only keep Young Life going, but that we would keep Young Life growing. This year, we're doing a 4 for 40 campaign. 4 days, starting today, to raise $40,000. We want to thank our donors from this last year, people who have supported the Young Life ministry through some of the toughest of times. Your faithfulness has allowed us to keep Young Life going. And now we want to invite you and ask to keep Young Life growing. Partner with us as we continue to do the faithful work of the ministry to introduce adolescents to Jesus Christ and help them grow in their faith.